We're gathered here today to raise the issue once again that we have about the changes in the county changing the qualifications for daycare for many of the people here in Western New York. As people of faith, we believe that working families should be encouraged to work, and we believe in pathways out of poverty. And so today we are praying that the county executive enact the resolution as passed by the county legislature to extend the deadline for changing the rates by reducing it at 75% and extending that deadline to 90 days.
Let me start by saying I'm a mother of two beautiful daughters, and I work and I love my job. I've been working since I was 15, and I go to school full-time and I work full-time. It's not a handout. I'm not ashamed to say I need the help. I'm pursuing my career in nursing so that way I won't have to have any type of assistance. And it's just been a hard road ever since I found out that I get my approval letter 2 weeks and then a week later I get a discontinue letter. And going in my patient's room, I felt like crying, but I held up my head and kept taking care of my patients like I normally do. But it's been hard because I'm a single mother and I pay rent, electric, gas, and I have to have a car to take my kids to and from school. I lose 2 hours on my paycheck every day just to take my daughter to school and take her to daycare. I cannot afford daycare. If I could, I would pay it out my pocket to refrain from going through all of this. Because they give you something and then they take it away from you. And then you're left being depressed. And I can't laugh and play with my children because I'm depressed about what I'm going to do to take care of them. And that's not right. I have to pay for groceries. It's hard. And anybody that's that heartless not to understand how hard it is, take a step in my shoes and see what I go through on a day-to-day basis, and then you tell me if you'll be able to maintain as good as I have been maintaining for my children. It's been hard, and I look at my children every day, and my children are my world. And for me to know that I have to pay in daycare, which is more than my rent, is ridiculous. That's all I have to say.
Unfortunately, we have partners in government, but sometimes those partners don't inform other members of government of what's going on, and that's exactly what happened in the situation here. The decision to end the daycare subsidy for those who are 125% to 200% above the poverty level was made solely by the county administration with no input whatsoever from my office nor from the legislature. When my office became aware of it through a press release, we contacted the department and the Commissioner of Social Services, who informed us that a decision would be rendered forthwith. Well, they had already rendered a decision. We offered the services of the Comptroller's Office to look at the numbers to see if there really was a $10 million shortfall. We actually disagree with it. We don't think there's a $10 million shortfall. We do believe there is a shortfall from what we're receiving from New York State, but the result of the shortfall is a result of the county not processing enough applications in the past. This is a heartless and ill-thought-out decision rendered by the county executive.
That's right.
Yep. If we do take the county executive's numbers at face value, that there's a $10 million shortfall, that is $10 million at the same time he's going out in the public and saying we are going to end up with a $30 million surplus for 2009. They made this decision knowing that they could apply for stimulus dollars in April that would be retroactive to October of 2009. They're telling people you don't matter. That is wrong. We do have priorities in government. We have a lot of non-mandated services that we provide in government that we don't charge the public for, such as sheriff road patrols and the parks. This is a service that saves taxpayers money. If people have to go on to public assistance, to welfare, to Medicaid, to food stamps, it is going to cost the county much more than $10 million in the long run. My office has been willing to work with the county executive and the Department of Social Services to figure out what the accurate number is and how we can do this. They've refused our advances. That is wrong. That is why I am calling on the county executive not only to extend this for 90 days, but to work with other parties to ensure that the decisions that are rendered on behalf of the people of Erie County are in the best interest of Erie County and not just in the best interest of a press release or anything else that in the end of the day will make them look good. Thank you.
Let me say this. As a working mother, I spend $19,000 a year on childcare. That represents 43% of my income. I'm fortunate that I am in a position where I can do that. But so many people, and mind you, my daughter only goes to daycare 2 days a week. So that's $19,000 a year on childcare for 2 children, with one of them only going 2 days a week. So it's very, very important to understand that there are so many families for whom spending 43% of their income on childcare is very simply not an option. But meanwhile, we want to provide a roadmap for those families to achieving self-sufficiency. And instead what we have here is a roadblock. We want a roadmap. And if you break down social services to the very core of what they are supposed to be about, that is fundamentally what they are about. They are supposed to be a hand that helps people to achieve that roadmap to self-sufficiency. And I think the county comptroller said it very accurately when this was an ill-advised decision on the part of the county executive. Let me just say a couple other things. First of all, the resolution that was passed at the last session, which called for an extension of the 90 days, was introduced by Legislator Grant and I am very proud to say that all 15 members of the legislature voted for that. That is an excellent piece. And that the Republican caucus and the Reform Coalition were prepared to support that initiative. That is incredibly important. And I think, given that, I have reached out to the minority leader, John Mills, and I have asked him to set up a meeting with the county executive directly, ASAP, on this issue. LaShawna Jones, my constituent, here she is, she cannot wait. We cannot wait, 10 days, 2 weeks from now until it suits the county executive better, and she asked to quit her job. Her job will not wait for her. And I think that we need to move expeditiously, to get that meeting with the county executive and to call on him to work with our partners, as the comptroller has said, to work with the minority caucus, to work with the minority leader, to work with the business leaders in the community. Nancy Ware from EduKids, my daughter goes to EduKids. I reached out to her. She is an Orchard Park resident who has opened up 11 sites, daycare sites throughout the county. Many of them are affected. Her DSS families have affected every single one of her 11 sites. She is willing to come to the table as a partner in the solution. Can certain daycare providers provide some kind of a scholarship program almost? Can we find some kind of pathway forward here? And I think that is what we need to be working on so expeditiously. So I am very proud to be standing with my colleague, Legislator Grant. She and I, as I mentioned, co-sponsored that resolution. Any other comments, Legislator Grant?
You said it all.
Okay, all right. So I guess my closing point is we will fight tooth and nail to save this program. You have my and our commitment to that.
Yeah.